I'm so glad you're here listening to the Sustain Your Passion podcast. I'm Genesis, your host and business development expert. If you're ready to make a bigger impact and income while helping others, then you're in the right place. Thanks for joining me, and I can't wait to help you sustain your passion. Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of Sustain Your Passion. Today I have a lovely client with me, Rachel Lovitt, who will tell you all about herself and her business here in a moment. But I just wanted to bring her on today to have a conversation about all of her growth in 2023, about the opportunity to support her over, I think it's been like 9 months, something like that. We'll dig into the details. But I just think that she has really taken ownership over her business this year and is building it in a way that aligns with who she is and how she wants her life to be. So I just really wanted to showcase all of that amazing work with you all on the podcast and bring on Rachel. So Rachel, can you go ahead and do a quick intro, let people know where to find you, that kind of thing?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you so much for having me. Just so grateful to have found you and to continue to be your client. So my name's Rachel. I'm a certified personal trainer and mobility specialist, and I'm a holistic movement coach. So I help people feel comfortable and at home in their bodies. And I started my business, Mindful Movement and Living, about like 3 years ago now, almost. Um, and you can find me on all the socials, Mindful Movement and Living. And yeah, all my work is virtual. I love just connecting with clients. We do mindfulness, we do mindset, we do mobility, we do movement. Like it's everything. It's holistic, mind, body, all of that jazz. It's great.
I love it. Yes. And as I've gotten to know you and your services lately, it is just so cool to see the way that you bridge the knowledge and the academia and kind of the medical information that unless you're a doctor or nurse, you don't really get access to. And then applying that to people's lived experiences. I think that's just such a unique niche that people want. We want people that have that knowledge that will talk to us like we're real humans and help us through our current problems, right? And that personal trainer side of you really fits so well because you can not only teach us and I say us because I've been through Rachel's program and I am such a fan. I'm still continuing to work with her because personally, I've never found someone that makes me feel so okay with my body while working on it. So I just love that. But I think that the way that you do what you do is such a great example of what I love helping my clients do, which is you've got knowledge, you've got experience. How do we package that in a way that actually makes it where your job is fun
Yeah.
and not just, replacing the employee mindset in your business that says I have to overwork, overwork, blah, blah, blah. So I'd love to ask you a bit about why did you start your business in the first place?
I love that question and your intro to it because I feel like that is a kind of starts my answer. Um, yeah, so I got really burnt out at my job. So I was a personal trainer at it was a pretty small gym. It was, we had space to train 3 people at a time. So it wasn't a big box gym or anything. Um, but I still got burnt out. I might see 10 clients in an 8-hour day.
Ugh.
And I don't know how I held my pee for that long. I don't think I went to the bathroom. It was very I cared so much about my clients but at the expense of myself. And I wasn't eating. I wasn't I look back at my blood work and stuff like that, cortisol through the roof, all this stuff. Um, so then when the pandemic hit and we switched to some virtual training, um, I realized how that could actually work. And I was able to retain a lot of my clients virtually. And then when we went back in person, it was like, it was just so overwhelming for me. I didn't really just my anxiety was so high with COVID and everything. And I was like, I need to do something different.
Mhm.
And so I hadn't really planned on starting my business at that point, but I was like, I just need to reset. I
Mhm.
need to like figure out like how to relax and how to eat and, all
Yeah.
of those things.
Recover from all that burnout.
Exactly.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so like my husband was like, you should take at least a year off.
Mm.
And I didn't because I am very I was so excited because then I started having all these ideas. Like once I was at home and I started um taking some online courses of my own and kind of got exposed to the kind of online course platform experience and so I was just like, okay, like I could do that. Yeah, like I could do that. And then I can teach what I want to teach and have it be the everything that I think works because um during my time off that's when I got my mobility certification and then I had also I've always had a background in mindfulness and um kind of more like Eastern health views and stuff. And so I was like, I want to combine all that. And I know I'm just not going to get that at a gym because the place that I was at, I think was the best gym I could have been at.
Yeah.
It was really good. Um, but I just wanted something a little different. And so, yeah, I started off making online courses and thinking, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. It's going to all be passive income. Going to make all these videos and then I'm going to just make all this stuff and then it'll be easy and then I'll relax and blah blah blah. you know.
Right, the dream.
So, didn't totally happen that way and
Mhm.
I definitely started going back to what you mentioned of just replacing that employee mindset with,
Mhm.
I'm just the boss then.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and setting all these hard deadlines for myself and just a lot of forcing, you know,
Mm,
and I was also really scared to market and to share, you know, I didn't even want to text my old clients about stuff. I was too scared to even do that, which looking back on it, like I'm so glad I still have all their numbers because now I text
totally.
them now. Um but so of course things weren't working because I I clearly had a lot of mindset stuff
Mm,
to work through and all the kind of logistical things around business and around making the product and all of that I could figure out but I had no examples in my life of this. Like this is a new path for anyone in my family, for any of my friends
yeah.
and especially it being online. Like I have a couple friends who have kind of more storefront
Mhm.
businesses, but I think that's a little different.
Yeah.
Um, and so then I kind of realized like, I do miss connecting with people. Like once I kind of recovered from the burnout, then I was like, okay, I kind of miss connecting with people and maybe I don't want to have just completely passive. Like I like the problem solving and
Mhm.
I want to, you know, help people with things that they need that personalized touch that
Yeah.
they, you know, maybe they could find it getting 15 different online courses and combining them or something. But like, um, so then that's when I started making the Empowered Body program. And I was working with a different coach at the time. And she was very helpful in um, kind of the idea of this program and combining the things of like yes it's online course but it's also coaching and that way you can be involved in it
Yeah.
um because that's something I realized like I actually do really want to be involved and I don't want to just sit back and watch numbers happen
Totally. Yep.
um and so I came up with the whole course, started filming it, but then it's still the marketing and the showing up and really talking about my offer in a confident way and trusting that I could do it was still really missing. At this point, I had grown my TikTok to like 50,000, I think.
Yeah.
So I was good at that. Like it was so interesting what things were really happening and what things weren't. And
Mm.
and that bridge wasn't connected. The
Yeah.
drawbridge down on one end or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and
The
I
boat's
just
off balance or something. Yeah,
yeah,
I get what you're saying, yep.
and so it was kind of strange to be like, wait, I have all these followers on social media. Like, why isn't this converting to
Mm.
clients? And um, so I was like, okay, social media is my problem. So then I found a social media coach, and that's where I met you.
Yeah.
And you were always um giving me such thoughtful advice in the comments and in the form of questions,
Mm.
which I really appreciated because I can get a little defensive. I'm not the best at taking criticism. And so, but the way you would make me think and come up with the answer myself and be like, oh, okay. Because we all like things to be our own idea, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
so you were very good at just asking me the right questions in the chat. And so, that program, the social media program was super helpful as well
Mm.
and, you know, helped me move forward in that sense. And then yeah, it was just one of those things where I think we got together on a marketing call
Mhm.
um and it was like, okay, I have to work with you. Like it was like she just gets me, and I could tell that you like genuinely cared about my business too, that you were like, this work is important.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, oh yeah, I can help you strategize. It was like, no, I'm invested in this, and that was something I hadn't had before. And um was like, okay, yeah, you get it. And so your advice is gonna be, you know, just that much more potent because you really care.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, then I joined your Passion to Paychecks program
Yes.
and I signed up for your one-on-one coaching at the same time. Um, and I was super happy to see how how much I could still get out of your workbook, even though I had already made my course.
Mm.
Because I knew that you, like a lot of the work that you do is helping people make their program in the first place.
Yep.
And so I was like, oh, well, do I even need the group program? Because like I already have this course.
Yeah.
Um, but there were so many steps in there that I hadn't really done. And I had to kind of go back and be like, okay, well, yeah, I have this course built out and everything. And at this point I had filmed it all, like,
Mm.
everything was done, but I hadn't really thought about, you know, really the ideal client. Who is this
Mm.
for? And then, there were, I loved how step by step everything was and how it was like, these are all the things that you need.
Mm.
And it wasn't necessarily like, if you don't do these in this order, I could jump around and it was fine. As long as everything got done,
Yeah.
then, we're good. Cause that's something that I can get really held up on is like, well, I feel like I want to do this thing, but okay, I can't do this thing before I do this, and this, and this. And, you know, sometimes it's probably not the best way. I know there's always, from your experience, what the best order to do things is. And sometimes I just do it the hard way, even though I know it'll be easier
That's okay.
that way.
Yeah.
So, but I appreciate that you were just going with my flow in that in that way. Um, and yeah, so I loved the workbook itself was a lot more customizable than I anticipated. And then, of course, your one-on-one support was just everything. Like, I was just I was like, I can't believe she's helping me this much. Like, every time I would just be like, I can't believe how much support I'm getting. Like, this is amazing. And I could just, whatever my question was, it was like, whether it's like, how do I do this thing on my email, or like, help, I'm having a mental breakdown. you know?
Yep.
So yeah, and you really helped show me that I could do this, and that the world is better because I'm doing this. And I don't think I like sales as much as you do, but I can see the path towards that.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I love that so much.
And
Yes.
yeah, the way you talk about sales and stuff is like not even sales, it's just invitations and stuff. And like, how exciting to get a party invitation, even if you don't go. Even you're like,
Yes.
oh, I don't really want to go to this party, but like, ooh,
They
thanks.
included me, like, that's
Yeah.
cool, there is an option for me. That's something I think about with your work all the time. Personally, right, I have a doctor's appointment coming up in the new year, and I'm, like, getting nervous about it, right? And I know your voice is out there, and it's now in my head too, because you are showing up and you're sharing, and if I can be like, if I'm responsible for even 1% of you being willing to show up and share a little bit more about your brilliance, like, I did my job, because you have so much to give, and there is so many people that need to hear your perspective, that you deserve to be comfortable in your body as it is right now. And if you want to move it, it's designed to move. So that makes sense. Like, let's see how to do that for you, and like how to make it comfortable. And that perspective is just so lacking, because the doctor's appointment, right? Like, I'm nervous as a person in a bigger body. Like, I know my weight's going to come up. I know the treatment's going to be like very similar to how it's been the last 15 years. And so, knowing that, though, I'm going into it differently, because you and your thought leadership is out there. And that's because you're showing up with the confidence to say, what I do is valuable. And so to me, it's just like, oh, just so happy to be a part of that, because you don't see it as sales, right? And that's probably why you're like, yeah, I don't know if I like sales as much. But I see it as like, once you connect so deeply with why you're doing what you're doing, you can talk about it however the fuck you want, and it will be selling for you, because your passion will come through, you know?
Yeah. No, and yeah, thank you for all of that. And yeah, I've started being more comfortable just sharing. I can't tell you how many um in the past, how many thoughts that I've had that I just haven't put out there because I was worried about it being enough,
Mm,
or being perfect or whatever. And like, yeah, being able to just be a little bit more of a person
mm,
online, and, you know, just showing up as myself, that's been a huge game changer. Um, and yeah, every time, over the last 3 years or so, I've had many a moment of like, I should just quit this and just like find an office job and do that or whatever.
yeah,
But my passion for this is so strong that that thought doesn't even fully come to like happen, because
yeah,
I'm just like, no.
yeah,
So
it's not an option, yeah.
like, I'm not gonna do that. Like,
Yeah.
that's not, it's like, this is what I'm meant to do. And like, and you know, there's a reason that your program is called Passion to Paychecks and not like passion for your business to paychecks or something, and yeah, because that's what it's about. And then everything else kind of
Happens.
emanates from that. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh, yes. I am so appreciate hearing the way you just talked through your journey because I think that's something that I also just haven't really recognized that's unique about our work together. You came with like 80% of your shit done. That's so true. Like I don't think I ever actually reviewed like your videos before you launch them, like you had the confidence that like I'm a teacher, I know how to teach this stuff. And so that was, honestly that's a big barrier for a lot of other people, right, is like helping them see like how, to piece together their trainings. But you had that part, you knew how to chunk out trainings, you'd been doing that, working one-on-one with people for a while, you knew what was digestible and how you wanted it to go. But in terms of the deeper thinking of now how do I market it, right? And why am I putting this one before that one? And how do I talk about the fact that I wanted all of these details to be included and in this order? And like, what are the common themes and things like that? I feel like that's where we got to do really deep work with our time and get to some of those root barriers of like your own journey too. And I still think that there's, parts of your story that you've been through that it's like I can just totally see like, oh yeah, that like your lived experience totally explains your passion. Like I understand it so deeply. And I think when people hear that story, they understand you deeper too, because it's like, yeah, I respect that you've been through so much, and then you sought education to like explain things and understand things further. And then you went and applied it. And so you came with this wealth of knowledge. And I just feel like I got to like, I picture myself as like the bumpers on a bowling alley. Like you're the bowling ball and I'm just the bumpers. Like, I think you might want to bump like this way towards the pins. And so it's like, oh shit. And then all of a sudden, like strike. But
Yeah.
together, it's your force, it's your energy. It's just my like keeping you in focus towards the goal.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And I think like, yeah, because there was a lot of wandering. I think I might have hopped over to another lane and like knocked over someone else's pins. Like, I don't know. Like, so yes.
Went backwards for a second. It happens.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Just kind of hanging out in the gutter for a little bit.
Right, exactly. In a little cocoon, like Margot wing me, like this is a bad day.
Oh yeah, I think yeah, there was definitely a number of cocoon moments. Um, but yeah, I think just like I don't know, I don't think I'd like fully accepted help in this way before. Um, you know that I struggle with people pleasing and perfectionism, and I'm sure a lot of your clients can relate to this.
Same.
Um, but I think that like so much in the past when I've sought help has been not wanting the person to know what I'm struggling with, only wanting them to see, look, I did the assignment. Look how good it is.
Yeah.
Don't look over here.
Right.
You know, um, even just something like the idea of letting someone help me with my social media and the idea of um you know oh but then they'd have to see my lack of organization and or things like that, and I never felt that just wasn't a barrier with you because um yeah, I mean, I guess just going back to what I said before of like you just understood. And you'd have moments where you're like, okay, no, Rachel, I really do need you to do this thing. um, or like, like, oh, like that's not great. But 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 I never felt like, I don't know, that I was trying to do things just to like make you happy or something. Like I did feel like you were on my team and and I still feel that way. And, and yeah, cause that's a big thing that I help my clients with actually is kind of getting away from this external,
Right.
um, motivation and no, it's not about the 10,000 steps. It's not about because whatever article said this is the healthiest thing for you to do or this is the most optimal or whatever. It's turning inward and deciding how you want to be,
Mhm.
And um so I think not only did, you know, that help me in my business, but it also kind of helped me be able to teach certain lessons better for my clients because I had made more progress myself and I could, you know, help them through my experience too.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. I love that. That is like, I'm gonna cry if I keep thinking about this too long. Um, yeah, that's what I love getting to do is removing the barriers to letting yourself be as impactful as you are. Um, for good people because I think there's such an unfortunate dynamic that the worst people get into leadership roles and make the biggest influence on our societies for all the wrong reasons. And I hate that. And so knowing that there are heartfelt, dedicated, deeply compassionate providers, right? Like service providers, coaches, whatever we want to call ourselves, right? People that want to do their best work and are drowning in advice because there isn't a curated space to help you figure out, well, which of this is right for me.
Mm.
Like, that's what I get to do is like I've struggled with every fucking marketing strategy you've seen for the last 6 years. Like, I could tell you how it goes.
Yeah.
And like, if you pick one that didn't work for me, great. I'm gonna help you own it and like rock it. Like, you are so good at TikTok. I'm still flailing with like 300 followers. I don't know, but I know how to help you be more honest in your TikToks, right? Whether it's the platform or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna be the person to sit there and finagle technology with you, but I'm gonna help you share more authentically in your stories and in your videos and in your marketing so that the right people find you faster because
Yeah.
it's that like removing of barriers to being seen that actually helps you find your people faster.
Yeah.
But that is so not what people want to hear, like most people just want to be told, just spend this amount of money and you'll get this many followers and not have to do any work.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Or just like use this magical hashtag
yeah.
thing or
Yeah,
whatever.
right. Yep.
And yeah, it's the same thing for stuff that I teach. It's like there's no
Yeah,
magic fix.
true.
It's like it does take introspection and work. It does.
Yep.
And but that work is so rewarding and worth it. And you know, I if I look back to a year ago, because now TikTok does like the on this day. So I'm
Oh.
very like aware of what I was posting.
Yeah.
And I can just see how different my
Mm,
mindset was back then. And it was very uh just all over the place of a video would do well and I would be happy. And then a video wouldn't do well and I'd be sad. And just all this stuff. And I was just so much efforting
mm,
without direction, I guess, and or just trying this thing and it didn't work once, so then I would give
mm,
up or something.
yeah.
So and trying to find that magical solution, And so I appreciate that it's like I just don't worry about that stuff anymore. It's like if I have a TikTok, I mean right now the algorithm is interesting that I have my TikToks are getting pretty low views. But I'm like, "It's okay. I'll just keep posting.
Yes.
Whatever."
Yes.
And I'm not trying to find I have different hashtags every time. I don't know. Like, It's just
Right.
whatever I feel like, and it's fine. And because and you know, certain things where it's like I do all my filming of TikToks and editing in the TikTok app itself. And most people would say, don't do that and film it on a good camera and then edit, all that stuff. But it's easier for me this way. So that's how I do it. And when things are
And it
easy,
works.
you do them.
Yes, and it works,
so,
yes.
so
Exactly.
I feel so much more grounded in myself now and not being like pulled by all the algorithm stuff and not tying my worth to you
Yeah.
know how many views and stuff. And because at the end of the day, you know I want the right people to find me. And if a video has 100 views, that's still 100 people.
Right.
And like, you know and I've had the opposite where I have a video that has like 3 million views right now. It's
Oh my gosh. Is it that viral one from earlier?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
Oh my
like I think
gosh.
that's the only video that's going out there. TikTok's like, "We don't like any of your other stuff. We'll just do that one."
Just this one forever.
And like it's I like it, I made it and I like it. It's not necessarily like a overall view of what I do because it can't. It's one video. It's 60 seconds or something.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a piece of it. Um, and so even though it has so many views, are the right people seeing it? I don't know. Maybe some.
Yep.
Um, but I don't know. So it's I feel it's kind of yeah, fun to see the videos from last year and just to I don't know how much it showed up as a viewer, like if you could sense my like whiplash. I but I can remember that at the time and it feels so much better now to just have those roots.
I think that makes so much sense, and it it also makes sense because your business model was structured different last year. You
Mhm.
were focused on, "I need big numbers," right?
Right.
Because to make a sustainable income with smaller offers, you need big numbers. Like,
Right.
if your dollar amount of what you sell, if your average cost per lead or, per client is less than $100, you're gonna need thousands of people every month to make, a 10K month, which reasonably is like that's a goal for a business to get to because eventually you're gonna have more expenses and things like that. But
Mhm.
while you're growing, you need to make some, wise decisions about your model. And when it makes so much sense hearing you narrate through like what this year has been like for you from I'm burnt out from peopling but I still have so much passion for this work. So let me find a way to people less, but do this work, right? So you want to, passive, and I'm air quoting passive because I think it's a real unfortunate disservice that so many marketers are going to tell you that you can have passive income from your offers when what they don't tell you is that you never get to stop marketing them and you will always have to keep selling and finding new leads and you need shit tons of leads. So there's nothing passive about it other than once they buy, you don't have to do anything, kind of. Like, you should monitor them, but, like, there's still so much marketing work. It's actually, like, way more marketing work to sell smaller products, but you're
Yes.
right, once they buy, you're off the hook, I guess, like, a little bit. But once you healed through some of that burnout, you were like, "Okay, maybe I do wanna work with people, but I'm gonna be more selective, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna put some boundaries around who I work with, and that's okay." Like, you found that that's okay, right? Like you already went through that by pushing the boundary of saying, no, I'm not going to work in this job anymore. I already was there, but you put up that boundary. You said, no, I'm not going to do this. This isn't right for me anymore. And then you kept searching, well, what is? And I
Mhm.
think that that is where we found each other was in that space of I'm building but I'm not exactly sure what I'm building towards right now. And I need clarity on what I'm building towards in order to really get to the finish line. And that's where I think we connected. And it was like, oh, wait, there is a way for me to like be my messy self
Yeah.
and be successful and seen. Like, oh shit, dope, let's do that. And then we discovered like it's not that you didn't want to be working with people, It's that you wanted to be working with people in a specific way, and you wanted to put some more rules or boundaries or expectations around that experience. And once we got clear on, well, what is the most impactful part of what you do? Let's keep that live, right? Keep that part all like focused and personalized and customized. That's your one-on-one, right? That's your one-on-one time, or that's your market, that's your service. But then have your course material there to be your foundation of all that you teach. And from there, I'm pretty sure once we like solidified things out, it was like pretty darn quick that you like sold out your launch.
Yeah.
And I remember you like pre-sold most of your spots or something. Talk to me about that like August, September time period where we were like right at about 6 months of working together.
Yeah, so I wanted to launch in September, and so in July, August, I was kind of like, okay, this is when I want to start marketing, but I was still a little scared. So in July, I was just kind of like not being sneaky, but just like I don't know.
Casually mentioning.
Right, right. And so like I didn't have like a campaign planned or anything. Um and it was, I reached out to past clients, I reached out to friends, and I sold most of my spots that way actually. And um but also I sold spots through the TikToks and through the emails and stuff. I asked one of my clients, because she found me on TikTok, and I was like, "Oh, do you remember what video it was
Mm.
that, what made you want to reach out to me?" She was like, "I don't remember what video it was, but you mentioned the program in the video and you were talking about the program." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, a sales TikTok actually got a sale."
Telling
Like,
you I have a thing you could buy resulted in you buying the thing I sell.
I know. And
That's
because
so
I
good once that happens. It's like, okay, people do want to hear it. Whew,
Yes,
okay.
exactly. Because I
Yeah.
think until that point, like, it's like my brain believed everything you were saying, but I think my body was not quite on it, needed more evidence.
Yes.
And, so yeah, having that be like, "Okay, yeah, sales things aren't just annoying people," or whatever, you know? And I've started to even like when people unsubscribe, because I'm like, okay, now we're just whittling down to like the core people who really want this, you know?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think, I'm starting to feel that way about um just follower count as well. Is like, there's still that part of my brain that's like, oh, I want to get to 100,000 or something. But also I'm like, but why?
Mm,
Like, yeah, that's cool. But I've already proven to myself that I can go viral and do things that people like, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And now I'm ready to attract the people who are really invested in my work, and want to invest in themselves in the way that I can help them do. And yeah, it's so funny. I actually just last night I was like meditating on this.
Mm.
And I was, because I did a midpoint check-in with everyone from the program. Oh yeah, you were there. And and just hearing what everyone was saying about all their breakthroughs and their wins and things that surprised them, I was like, I want more of this.
Mm.
And I like, wow, I am helping people, and I want more people to be helped in this way. I want more people to have these breakthroughs. And so, I was just kind of laying there last night and being like, I just want more, you know? And that, even saying that, is such a mindset shift, because, I grew up being like, more is bad, more
Mhm.
is greedy. more is, whatever. And if you want to help more people, you know, that's you can't want it because then you're doing it for the wrong reason, stuff like that,
Yeah.
like martyr type
Mhm.
uh things. Uh but yeah, so I'm just really happy with how this year has gone, and I honestly don't feel like I could have done it without you. Um Hopefully I would have gotten to this point eventually, but um so
I feel pretty confident you would have figured it out eventually. It just might have been a whole lot more painful
yes.
and taken
A
a
lot.
lot longer, which was my route. So I'm so happy to be able to help you like condense that like 5 years of I can't do this to 6 months of like, oh my gosh, I don't think I can do this to holy fuck, it's working. I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was just something that, you know, that launch was such a pivotal moment for me because, I had had that many clients before. When I worked at the gym, I had maybe between 20 and 30 clients at a time. So, yeah, it's a lot. Um, and I had very personal connections with all of them. And so that piece I already had evidence for. Um, but the piece of, oh, that investment is being made, to me, not the gym.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so, that was the most money that I had made at once in the business. And I was like, "Oh my gosh." Like, and it was scary at first. And like, I had a little bit of resistance to it, like the first month in particular. Um, but, but now it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm not scared of that anymore. And I know that for myself, like, I can put myself in those shoes very easily. Like, working with you, for example, it's like I know what it feels like to make a monetary investment in
Yeah.
myself. And I know that that feels good,
Yeah.
you know? And so then I can flip
Uh-huh.
that back around on myself and know that like that's feeling good for people too.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm just like reflecting on 2023. I feel like so much has happened.
Seriously. I feel like I'm just hearing this like this idea that you wanted to prove to yourself that you have what it takes to help your clients reach their biggest goals. And I know that sounds simple. Like if we were to say that, like, well, duh, everybody does. But like if you really do it right, like it takes deep work to make sure you know what it is even that you're looking for, and then to get to the point that you feel good about wanting to make that difference because you know that your presence is powerful and your impact is big and helpful and desired, and then allowing people into your world. Like it's scary as fuck. And so I just am so proud of you for taking the time to clarify exactly what you want and then showing up and letting those desires be seen
Mm.
by inviting people into your world and into your life and into your practice and your brain and being seen as yourself in those moments. Like I I don't think there's anything more human than us helping others with our passions,
Yeah.
and that's something so necessary in the social dynamics of humanity, and yet there's so much shit that gets in the way of us doing our best work in the world. And so thank you so much for knowing that you have something special to offer and allowing that to be true so that others can benefit from your passion and your lessons and your commitment to becoming the expert that you are, that makes it so you can make these impacts in people's lives. Like, all around, just like fucking so proud of you. Like this year has been so great. And I just am astonished that like this all happened in a year, you know? Like a lot can happen in a year.
No, I know. And it's, yeah, you just have to be ready.
Yes, you were
Like,
ready.
yeah,
Totally.
I think you're totally right about, yeah, what's more human than being compassionate and helping your neighbor, you know? And and yeah, we're missing a lot of, we're more connected than ever, and yet I think we're missing connection. Um and so, you know, that's a big reason why I appreciate what you do, because you know, you see the value in that, and you are helping people connect, and you're helping people help people,
Mhm,
you know,
mhm, mhm.
and in ways that's sustainable for them. Like I could, sure, I could help people, um if that was my only thing, if I didn't care about sustainability, you know,
Yep.
but I would get right back to the same place of burnout, you know? And so thinking outside of the box and finding those creative ways of like, how can I be, um I just keep thinking of the word potency. Like how can my work be potent, um so that I can do a lot of it.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
cuz yeah, you, and I think especially when you are a coach, and if, you know, you're working with people, you're helping heal people, all of that, like I think we need more support for ourselves too, because we're giving so much, and so we need to support ourselves even more. And I think that's something that kind of gets lost, or doesn't even exist in a lot of other like
So true.
um coaching programs and stuff, is that, you know, you are giving so much, you have to give back to yourself.
Totally.
And you know, it's it's cliche, but it's the oxygen mask
Yeah.
first
Mhm,
sort of thing.
mhm.
um and it applies to everything. Like, you know, even I can circle it back to diet culture and stuff like that. And it's like, how do you expect to move your body the amount that you want to move if you're starving yourself because diet culture has told you to not eat anything?
Yes, but if you were to look at, well, what's your desire? And then what do you need to make that
Right.
desire happen? Yeah, like fuck the rules
Yeah.
and make your own. Like that's the only way this is gonna work. But yeah, it's scary to trust that you are the knower, you
Yeah.
know? That is really scary
Yeah.
and takes, I think, something that I've been working on articulating is like the leadership skill of holding space, but also like showing that there's so much modeling that has to happen in the coaching relationships of, you know, like you were mentioning earlier, the follower count, like dipping and whatnot. It's like that comfort in followers shifting likely is because you've seen others talk about, oh, my followers go up and down and that's okay. I still made money, right? But like it doesn't, you can't learn that lesson on your own. Like you're not just gonna radically change your beliefs on your own. It makes sense to need another human modeling this for you. And so like the diet culture piece, it's like, yeah, I might want to move my body a bunch, but you're right. I haven't eaten today. Like, oops. And so let me throw those rules out and instead focus on what's right for me in this moment. But like that takes so much courage to
Yeah.
do, but having a mentor that you can look at and be like, "Oh, well, she's done it and it's okay."
Yeah.
okay, let me give it a try, and then, oh shit, it works, It's like, we need other people going first to show us it's okay, and that
Yeah.
takes a lot of courage.
I love that because, that's something that you helped me realize that I was doing without even knowing it. Like even just responding to Marco Polos while I'm on a walk of just showing that, yeah, I'm going on walks,
Yes.
and things like that because I think you know, for a while didn't want to show certain aspects of what I do because I didn't want to look like I was showing off or something like that. Um, but the reality is it's like, you know, this is how I choose to practice the things that I teach, And and yeah, it does just take one person to be like, "Oh, that is possible." Of like, "Oh, you can just take your computer and go work from Mexico or something."
Mhm.
Like if you
Yep.
see people doing certain things that you just didn't think were possible because of whatever rules that we've placed around ourselves and even things that, you know, both of us are so into our businesses and stuff that I'm sure it can be easy to forget like what people
Mm,
don't know.
mm,
And one of my favorite series that I've made is like exercises you can do while doing something else. And because for me it's just like, oh yeah, I just do things, move my body while I do other things. But it makes sense to me, of course, like people think, oh no, if I'm moving my body, it has to be at the gym, dedicated time, whatever. So little things like that. And um
I'm literally doing my glute, uh I'm squeezing my butt cheeks right now. I don't know
yes,
how else to say that in the fancier
yeah,
way, but that is exactly because I know what you're talking about. That I know the video you're talking about, and you taught that like, oh, while you're sitting on Zoom, you could be flexing your legs, you could be
yeah.
twisting your ankles
Oh
and
yeah,
lifting.
I've been
Like,
moving my toes, I've been doing foot
I
exercises
love
under here.
it. Like, that
Like,
is so you, but you don't even notice it because it's just so you? But you having the courage to let yourself be seen by me
yeah,
also lets me be like, "Hey, that's not what everybody does." Like, I talk to hundreds of people every week, and I can tell you not everybody's doing that,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it helps to be like for you to be like, that's kind of weird, but in a good great way. Like
Exactly. Yep. Do you know you're unusual, special, and awesome in this way? I love it so much. Oh, I feel like that is like the culminating sentence of this conversation. Like, you are weird and awesome in your own unique, special, impactful way.
yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you so much for this conversation.
you.
Oh, I just so appreciate you and your work in the world, your being in the world, and the influence you have on your friends, your neighbors, the people at the mail center that you when you drop off your packages. Like, I just know that you being in your lightest, happiest, most joyful state as often as you can, because of course it's not a radical, whatever, ridiculous, perfect life, but as often as you can, um, it makes the world a better place. And so I really appreciate you doing all this work that it takes to feel confident in what you bring to the table, because that also makes it easier for other people to shine around you. And so by doing this, you are inevitably creating an incredible ripple effect. And I just feel so lucky to be on on this journey with you. So thank you for your time today, for your thoughtful reflections. And can you just remind folks where to find you if they want to come see those TikToks about clenching their butt cheeks?
Of course. Yeah, you can find me on social media at Mindful Movement and Living. My name is Rachel Lovitt.
Thank you so much, Rachel. All right. I hope this episode was helpful. If you are considering working with me in 2024, hopefully hearing from Rachel's experience helps you feel a little bit more courageous and to know that wherever you're at is okay and your growth can look completely different than anyone else's. As long as you show up and let yourself be seen and take courageous action, you will be in a more aligned place in the future. So if that's what you're looking for in your business, reach out to me, head over to genesisrose.com, learn some more about my programs and reach out. So I would love to get to help you as well. This next year is going to be all about growth for Sustain Your Passion. So get in while you can. And cheers to a new year. Thanks again, Rachel.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Sustain Your Passion podcast. If this episode helped you gain a bit more clarity, courage, or confidence, please share it with your friends on social media or in a text. It would mean the world to me. Thanks in advance for sharing this episode. I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.